Jesus Christ, that hurt. I'm still got a headache.
Sorry about me cussing Jesse like a dog, but fuck it, I did. That's how it is.
Thomas Hudville got ran out of Auburn because of his wife. His wife was sleeping around with some of the players and just being a complete whore around town.
You fucking punk-ass bitch!
The Pac-12 will have 5 or 6 teams in the top 25.
Dude, whatever you're smoking, buy a ton of it.
I'm the greatest smack talker on the fucking face of the earth right now.
You fucking punk-ass bitch!
Then it makes me look like I got owned or something.
You fucking punk-ass bitch! You fucking punk-ass bitch!
I just can't believe y'all put a statue of this guy already at your campus.
I'm like Charlie Daniels. I bury my goddamn money in mason jars, motherfucker.
How are you, Mr. Pike?
Good. Making some pork chops.
Man, I'm actually sitting down to my breakfast / dinner / lunch / whatever the fuck right now. Yeah, I just got home from work like literally 10 minutes ago.
Gotcha. Hey, what's it mean? I had these things in the freezers for about 2 weeks, and if they stay frozen, are they all right?
Oh shit, dude! I'll freeze like a pork loin if I can get catch a pork loin on sale. You can freeze that motherfucker for a month, 2 months, 3 months.
Oh shit!
But as soon as you thaw it out, though, then you got like a few days, and you better eat that shit.
Yeah, I thawed it out overnight.
So what's going on?
What's up?
Did you? So tell me about the carjacking. This is fucked up.
Really fucked up. Listen, I can't get into too much detail about it, but I will say this: I was hijacked at gunpoint, and I'll explain the story to the best of my ability so far. So, usually at the end of the night, I go back and check to see if the bay doors are locked. It's a cold night. I think I live up north. Truck up and go back there and check the bay doors before I went home. And I went back there and checked. They were all locked. And then I was looking at my phone, responding to a text message, and all of a sudden my car door opened, or my truck door opened. So I'm like, shit, I think it's one of my damn employees fucking with me. So, turn around and look, wasn't good. 2 men, one holding the gun, told me to give me, and from their words, give me the bread.
Damn.
Well, my wallet is sitting at my desk at the furniture store, inside the furniture store. So I didn't have nothing. I had my cell phone, I had my truck. Take the truck. Take my cell phone. Then the guy said, no, we don't want the cell phone. And then they ran off with my truck. Fucking crazy shit. Called 911. Police come.
You know why he didn't want the cell phone, right?
Yeah, you can find that shit.
Yeah, they could have tracked him.
Yeah, track you right to your doorstep with that shit. But you know, the funny thing is, what kind of truck was it again?
It's 2014 Toyota Tacoma, a little two-banger.
Did they do anything to it?
No, it's found about half a mile from where the incident occurred.
Oh, so you got the truck back then?
I got the truck back. Yeah, they found it about 45 minutes later.
Holy shit, that never fucking happens around here.
Yeah,
you get your car jacked in Birmingham, man, you might as well forget about that shit. They may find it like 3 months later with a body in it.
Yeah.
So I never thought nothing like that could happen to me. I was all excited to get off. Georgia just won the SEC championship game. I was getting ready to go home, drink a little bit, but shit, I didn't get done with all that shit till about midnight.
Yeah, well, we got to talk about that because again, you basically brought your, you brought Georgia a national championship.
I won Georgia that fucking game.
I think that's fair.
Did you see that ass beating they took last time?
Yeah.
Auburn?
Yeah, yes, but that's when you were a Tennessee fan, so.
Correct. Well, see, this is the thing with the Tennessee debacle. And I know y'all know as good as well. I mean, Tennessee, it's fucking mess right now. I had to get the fuck out of it. Because this is the thing, guys.
You made a wise choice, I think.
I have one life that I'm going to live, and it's going to be a very successful life. I'm a very successful person.
Yes.
So why would I want to pull for a successful team? It doesn't even make any sense.
You're absolutely right.
Georgia, and then Georgia win the SEC championship game. It's a no-brainer.
So are you going to carry this to through the national championship? Are you going to carry Georgia to the Natty?
I'm all dog.
Wow, this is incredible. And the thing is that we got to go back to Tennessee for half a second. Now that you're not a Tennessee fan, I want to get your perspective as Pike, the non-Tennessee fan, dog for life.
Right.
Tell me about it. What's going on with Tennessee? Are they ever going to find a coach ever?
I don't know. Hell, I think Fulmer should have just went ahead and came back as coach instead of AD.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not done yet. Maybe he'll appoint himself.
He can.
Yeah. I don't know. It sounds rough. I mean, I knew it was fucked up whenever they couldn't get Kevin Summerlin. I said, "Holy fucking shit!" We can't get
Someone
Kevin
won't even come.
Yeah.
from NC State.
Kevin Summerlin would
fuck.
come and take over at UAB right now when Bill Clark leaves. I don't think it. Yeah, but
I think some of the problems may have been the guy that was athletic director before Fulmer stabbed him in the back and got the job. What was his name?
I don't know. Who cares?
I don't know. They
He's
said
done.
that he was conducting the search in a very unprofessional manner.
Curry, Mr.
Curry, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, John Curry. Yeah.
Have you talked to any of your former balls? I mean, how do they feel about your decision to jump ship?
A lot of them won't even talk to me no more.
You haven't convinced any more of them to jump ship with you?
Well, I tried, and they was like, "Nah, it's in our blood." Blah blah blah. Hell, they've been saying. I got a lot of hurtful messages over that stuff. People that I consider my Vol for Life friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
You.
Can I ask you about something? I just heard something on the internet the other day. I'd never heard of it before. Have you ever heard of the Pike curse?
There ain't no such thing as a Pike curse no more.
A guy named Curtis told me that there
people
was
were talking
definitely a
about
thing
it
called the
because,
Pike curse, and he's a Georgia fan and he's
told
very
me
concerned.
Right, but you can't have a Pike curse. Your team be going get ready to be in the
Well,
playoffs,
obviously,
you know what I'm saying?
obviously, it's not a curse because you came in and Georgia handled business with and I'm sure that right before they left the locker room that to face Auburn that last time they had heard the news that you had changed over. No doubt in my mind.
I'll touch on this. There's a lot of people that's in SEC SMAC. You got to think there's 37,000 people in there. Okay, so there's a lot
very
of
active group. Very active
people. I heard from a source that there is Georgia Bulldogs that play on that team that they watch my videos from the DL, the down low. And there's a lot of players in that locker room knew that I joined the Georgia Bulldogs before that game started. That's true. That's true words right there.
It's a true story.
So they already knew. They knew who you were. So as soon as you came over to the Dog Nation, I mean it was game on then. We
game over.
Man, this is incredible.
And it probably raised their level of play too once they heard about it.
So we got
hell yeah, they fucking them up.
I got to go back to the carjacking though because you got some really. I mean, there were some nasty comments about. Just
And
don't give a fuck.
I said, this ain't a troll post. This ain't a troll. I was traumatized.
Or somebody could come onto your profile and post that you died, and people would come in and make comments like that.
Oh yeah, could you imagine? Oh my god.
Why do you think people get so angry with you? Because I've seen a lot of your posts, and I've definitely watched a lot of your videos, and I don't get it. I don't get why people have to get that upset.
I don't know. I mean, I've still tried to figure it out. You know, I thought about leaving the groups completely, just go MIA. The groups helped me in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to be a real shy person growing up, and now I ain't shy no more.
And you've met a bunch of great people through SEC SMAC and some of the other groups that you participate in.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't understand why people would hear a story like this. Even my worst enemy, if they came to me with a story like that, it's like, well, gee, that is kind of fucked up. Sorry, man. You know, something. What the fuck is wrong with people?
I don't know. You know me. I like to joke kid around every now and then. But I ain't gonna joke kid around about nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought it was real. The moment I laid eyes on the post, I said, "This is a real post."
Yes.
Yeah,
And I said, "This is a real post, but nobody's gonna believe."
Why the hell would I fabricate a damn carjacking situation 2 hours after the SEC championship game? Makes no sense.
That makes no sense at all. None. And especially after you helped Georgia win. I mean, you figured at least you'd have the Georgia Nation behind your side, but I don't know, man. There were some nasty people in there.
Mm-hmm. That's a horrible looking thread. I don't even look at it now.
So let's talk about Georgia. Let's talk about Georgia in the Rose Bowl. Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about them Sooners for a minute. Have you?
Big 12. Ain't worried
Jesus
about it.
Christ, that hurt. I'm still gonna have it.
I'm the greatest right now.
No, whoa. Okay, all right, fellas, time out. Come on, give me a second here. Fellas, pause. Just give me a second, man. Pause. Pause. Give me a second. Let me pause. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's all about here at SmackDown. Have you had a chance to smack with some Sooners online?
No, I was thinking about that. I've been traumatized, since the SEC championship game.
That
But I'm
chop's got a
thinking
good
about
sizzle.
maybe exploring around, find me a good Oklahoma group. You know what I'm saying?
I'll when we get off air, I'm going to let you on to a few of them.
Oh yeah, I'd love to have a conversation with them.
You should. You really should. And they're a very compassionate, warm bunch.
Yeah.
I bet they're inbred. You got to think Oklahoma. I've been through there one time in my life, and four-way stops and stop signs. Four-way crossing and stop signs. It's weird.
There's a lot of meth in Oklahoma.
Well, I couldn't imagine there ain't that much to do out there. I mean, what the hell?
Now bang horses and smoke crystal meth. Watching Boomer
Yeah.
Sooner. Boomer Sooner.
Yeah.
I wonder
Right,
how many
man.
stump broke mules there are in per average Oklahoma household.
Yeah, I imagine it's pretty
You should
tough.
Who wins, Arkansas or Oklahoma in that race?
You need to ask Timothy that next time we have him on.
I will.
What y'all think about Bama getting in?
We are absolutely elated. Of course, there's part of me is a little concerned. We still have a lot of things that we need to work on if we're going to bring home the hardware. But just to be invited to the dance is a beautiful thing.
Well, it's a consolation thing. You look at the wins Ohio State had against, Penn State.
Bama didn't really get in. Ohio State blew it.
Yeah, they did.
The Iowa loss
Alabama's best win was Mississippi State. I mean, come on.
or LSU.
And their worst loss was the number 6 team in the nation, who just happened to be their most hated rival.
That's what I'm saying. Is
Right.
that Ohio State's loss to Iowa was just too bad. Nobody wanted to touch it. Especially with what they did in the CFP last year.
And they made Iowa State
don't know
look
if I agree
good.
with
That's
that.
inexcusable. I mean, to make a program like Iowa State look like they could actually be some
you're
sort
talking about
of
Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma's loss.
okay.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
talking
I was
about,
talking about the Iowa lost Ohio State.
That's what I thought we were talking about, too. Let me follow up on that. If I was to play Alabama tomorrow, it would be a very competitive game. And I don't know. I think the gap between the Big Ten and the SEC is closed.
Well, and everybody's saying that the SEC is down. We have two teams out of 4 possible CFP selections.
top heavy, but down toward the middle, it's trash.
Yeah, I mean, it gets a little trashy, but what conference is it?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, let's get down to brass tacks. Everybody talks about what a garbage conference this conference is or that conference is. Each conference has a couple top heavy contenders, and then it's pretty much downhill from there.
2 or 3 usually, except for the Big 12.
I mean, for every Vanderbilt, there's a Kansas, and
I mean,
for every
you had
Kansas, there's a-
TCU could have wrecked the Big 12 yesterday. On Saturday if they'd have won the game. I mean,
yeah.
And they just reinstated that conference championship game, and that's the stupidest conference championship that was played this year because they could have cost themselves a spot
Still
in the
can't
CFP.
believe I was talking about Oklahoma and Iowa State, man. God, I should have ate today.
Well, I mean, they're in the. I said Iowa, so.
Yeah, fuck both.
And
of
you
them,
hate
actually.
Oklahoma, so
I really
your
do.
mind turned.
Oklahoma fan base is among the worst, if not the worst. I'm sorry, they really are. They of course, if you talk to them, they in the Alabama series, for instance, they're Alabama's daddy.
Curtis Dyers was telling us that Pike used to be an Alabama fan. Is that true, Pike?
Really?
Nah, that ain't true. I don't
He
know
said
what
you
you're
was
talking
you
That's
went Ole
just a rumor?
Miss. He said you were Ole Miss, and then you moved to Alabama, and then Tennessee, and
about. No, I don't recall that.
it was
Not at
it was
all.
just Ole Miss, and then Tennessee.
There's no record of that online that we can look up or anything.
I
like
don't know.
that.
Y'all might find something, but it's nothing I recall.
Somebody may have gotten your phone or something like that. 'Cause, people
Correct.
are. But yeah, I got people in my life that do crap like that all the time. I actually got banned from Facebook. My roommates took a picture of their balls and posted it because I left my phone out, and they posted it to Facebook, and I got a ban for that.
Shit.
Yeah, I was like a 7-day
Oh,
ban.
I've got
They weren't big
people-
balls.
I got people making fake profiles of me.
Really?
Right to me. Hell yeah.
No
They
shit.
gave my friends group and I had my friends. Hell, I had to lock down my profile, make everything private.
I've noticed that you're not You're not operating under the Tiggy Dom's name as much as you used to.
He pissed me off last time we were on here.
Yeah, y'all kind of went at it for a moment. Have y'all spoken since?
Not ever since. We've chatted back and forth through comments on posts, but that's about it.
And
I stay in my lane.
He's still pretty bitter now. He is a Husky homer.
He's excited again. Now
Really?
that Washington's in a bowl game, he wants to come on and smack with the Penn State.
Shut up.
So.
All right.
So I sent the contracts over.
We'll see how that works out. So have you gotten the contract yet, Justin? Is what we're asking.
No.
You're gonna do your Tiggy voice.
Switch to Tiggy. Switch to Tiggy for us. Come on.
Bruh. Yeah. I love Tiggy.
Oh, yeah, he's always brah.
I've had people just tell me, you're stupid. They are the same person. I said, we've had them both on the freaking show. One of them lives on the East Coast and one lives on the West Coast.
I wonder how much
anything alike.
I wonder how much reefer he smokes during an average day.
He sounds like it, don't he?
Oh man, yeah, he's definitely a pothead. It's legal out there though. I mean, I guess I would too if it's legal here. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely legal there. Are you still 420 friendly?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've been more on the liquor here recently.
Ooh,
I used to have that for my anxiety.
That liquor will get you now.
Ain't nothing like a little Jack Daniels can't cure for some anxiety. You know what I mean?
So, do you live in DC, or do you live just
well,
close?
Technically, I live in Alexandria.
Oh man, I got family in Alexandria. You know any?
Yeah, I mean, we'll put it this way.
Madden's up that way.
Rich and famous. I go out of my parking garage and I can see the monument.
Alexandria is very nice. Yeah, it's like right there.
Virginia, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Lifestyles of rich and famous.
The Virginia side of DC. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know any Maddens up there? I got some family up there.
I mean, it's a big area, man. You don't ever see the same person twice.
Yeah. You ever bump into any Maddens though? I'm probably kin to them. I got a bunch of people up there.
Steer clear of them too.
Yeah, steer.
I'm gonna have to ask around. Search on Facebook.
Yeah, watch your wallet. Well, Justin, give me a score prediction before we get off here because I know you're a very busy man, very important, and got many
score prediction. I'm gonna go ahead and get my playoff predictions. I'm gonna go 42-13 Dogs over Oklahoma.
Ooh.
And then with Clemson, I'm gonna go 38 Clemson.
So you're saying that Clemson is going to handle business?
Hey, give us that
Alabama
Bama score because you cut out.
38-35 Clemson.
Okay.
Mark that down.
Sounds like
it'll be a
a
shootout.
right in the same vein as the last two.
Correct.
Wow. Okay, Justin, we really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to talk to us, man. We love your work.
And give us a big go dog.
Thank y'all so much. Go dog.
Jesus Christ, that hurt. I'm still gonna have it.
I'm the greatest right now.
No, whoa. Okay, all right, fellas, time out. Come on, give me a second here. Fellas, pause. Just give me a second, man. Pause. Pause. Give me a second. Let me pause. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's all about here at SmackDown.
I'd like to congratulate Georgia on their victory. They got a very good team. They flipped the script on us from the last game, did exactly what we did. The first game, obviously, it was a tough loss. We got off to a good start, and then we had some uncharacteristic things
What was your reaction when you saw the reveal?
Oh, I've sat through a few of those here now in the last few years, and you can't look backward, you look forward, and I love our players. I love the fact that they had a job to do and stay focused and go win the game. I've always admired people that have a job to do. USC had a job to do. They won their championship, and they did. We had a job to do in Indianapolis. We did it, and the College Football Playoff Committee had a job to do, and they did it. So you respect it and move forward.
See the number 4 right there? See that? Freaking Alabama beat number 4 Wisconsin. Big Ten championship. Alabama did not go to an SEC championship because they suck ass, okay? That's the first thing. They didn't even go to one. Screw off, Alabama. Go to hell. This is stupid. We beat the number 4 team.
Losers Corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, Smacking Off a Podcast proudly presents a live segment with two of our favorite smackers, Mr. Curtis Dyers Jr., representing the Georgia Bulldogs, Timothy Bailey, representing the Oklahoma Sooners. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start talking this shit now. We got like a month to prepare for it. It's time to start talking some shit. Let's do it, fellas. Curtis, you're up.
Yeah, go ahead, Unabomber. What the fuck you was saying about the SEC, bro? Let's go.
The SEC used to be the best conference in college football, and
they still are.
They are not. They are not.
Yes, they are.
Then how come? Okay, explain to me how you're the best conference in college football.
We have two teams in the top four. Go ahead.
Right now, not only that, but right now it's like the top 4 teams for the fucking playoffs. It's Bama and it's Georgia in that bitch, bro.
Okay,
right now,
you have 2 top 4 teams. Okay, so that means that by default, that means that you have the best conference because you have 2 teams in the top 4. That's what you're saying.
It was by default because other conferences wasn't strong enough to fucking the lead they shit. Even if Bama did not even win their fucking conference, they was good enough to get in. All right, and Georgia, we earned our way.
Okay, that's fine. You earned your way playing teams like Tennessee, Florida State, Kentucky. I mean, I get it. Like, I don't.
No! I catch that underhanded, the little, that backhanded compliment that you did. Like the East is wet.
Yeah, he said.
Okay, we know, but we beat the West too.
Better this year.
Huh?
There's 3 good teams. Very bad.
Okay, so who do y'all play? Toledo? Who the fuck is Toledo, bro? Who is Toledo?
Better than Mississippi State.
Are you fucking serious?
Mississippi State would beat the dog shit out of Toledo. Are you fucking serious?
If Fitzgerald did not have a fucking broke leg or whatever the hell, dude was like put 50 on y'all, bro. He would put 50 on y'all.
Because he only has like 14 touchdown passes on the year. Toledo has a guy named Logan White.
Are you serious?
An intellectual conversation here, or are we just going to be silly?
No. Yeah, look, we're actually going to do both because that's just who I am. I can be silly, and I'm intellectual too. So let's do both.
Silly, but I want to see what the ground rules are because I'm okay with having this as an intellectual conversation.
Well, I mean that's cool, but don't back out of it. Now you trying to put rules into the shit, bro. It's a conversation. Let's go.
I'm just trying to figure out what we're doing, but
okay,
first I'm going to give a compliment to Georgia because first of all, it's been a while, man, and I think that it's an incredible job what Kirby Smart has done, turning around that program in a short period of time. No matter what, whenever you get to 11 or more wins, for that particular season, you're an elite team. Now, where you rank among those elite teams may be different, but being an elite team, winning 11 or more games puts you in a different category than teams that win 9 or 10 games. And I'm just going to say that Georgia, is back right now. And I think they'll only get better and stronger as the years go on. Because right now you're not playing with Kirby Smart guys, you're playing with Rick guys who are good too, but the thing is they're different coaching styles and different systems. So I think you guys will get better and better as the years go on. And I've been impressed with Kirby Smart.
Yeah, have you seen the recruiting classes over the past couple of years? They're just ridiculously.
Recruiting. Yeah. I mean, Georgia, if you look at the recruiting scene, Georgia and it's Georgia, Texas, and Miami are really just killing it on the recruiting side. My Sooners are too. For the next 3 years, but they recruit a little differently. They're really spreading out the years. They've got a lot of good recruits, but so does Georgia for like the next 3 years lined up.
Okay, yeah, I mean I hear that. I mean, okay, can I get in? Can I intervene?
Yeah, go for it.
And I actually hear you, and I appreciate that. And Oklahoma is a good ass team. You kind of heated me up when you was talking about the SEC, but I mean. Come on,
no.
Okay, no, hold on.
Baker Mayfield
but you try to say,
cocksucker.
hold on.
We got to say that right now.
But you also tried to say that this is Rick's team. Okay, I understand. Like some of the offensive players are Rick's team, but when Jacob Eason went down, who was the man that stepped up? All right, that was Fromm, and who brought him in?
I'm saying this is.
No, you did. No, you actually did say that was some of Rick's players. You did. You're contradicting yourself right now. You
misunderstood. No, you misunderstood what I was saying. What I was saying is they'll only get better as more Kirby Smart guys are coming into the program.
Exactly. And so that was the point that I was trying to make. So when Jacob Eason went down, Fromm stepped up. Last night in the SEC championship, when Sony went down, D Swift stepped up, bruh.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And these are Kirby's kids.
You have young guys making a real impact, and that's something I can really appreciate. My Sooners have that too. Trey Sermon, a guy you guys kind of missed out on. He was in Georgia. He's fantastic. He doesn't get as much reps because of Anderson. But we've got a lot of sophomores and freshmen that are playing really well too. And I noticed that with Georgia and Miami both. Because I actually think that split for Georgia and Rick was a win-win for both parties. Like I think this Jimbo FSU.
No. It was not. It was not a win-win for us to pick up Kirby and to lose Rick. That was actually more of a win for us. Rick has been known to lose more serious big games than any other coach. When it comes down to he's a good coach, but when it comes to a big game, dude, it's known to choke.
You mean like
so? It was actually an upgrade.
You mean like that Pitt game the other night?
Take a look at Miami though. What were they before he got there? They were a total dumpster fire.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And what did he do last week? Did he not lose to Pitt?
Did you expect them to win?
At Pitt, I
did. Pitt? Oh,
wow. Against Pitt.
I didn't expect them to win. More than 9 or 10 games this year.
Yeah,
I didn't expect him to take the quarterback out and put in a quarterback the starting quarterback out and put in a quarterback that only threw 5 passes for the season.
It's fresh out of junior varsity.
What kind of coaching call is that?
You gotta try something.
What kind of coaching call is that?
What are you pointing out?
I'm sorry.
Rozier was bad in that game, though, was he not? Was Rozier not a pile in that game?
Look, that was 3 and out, real quick. Why would you even put him in? You stick with your quarterback. Let him know that you have confidence in him to lead the team. Why would you even do that? See, this is all right. It's bad timing on him. It was just not good. It's just what he does. I don't know what it is, but it's just something about him where he makes bad calls during the worst inopportune time.
At least he's not Gus Malzahn.
Well, actually, Gus beat us and Bama, so he really didn't do that bad this season. So that was a bad, comparison. Gus did pretty good.
I could go into some detail as to why Gus didn't do as good of a job as you think, especially with Georgia. But I just don't think that that's necessary because this is more of a Bama. This is more of a Georgia, OU conversation. Now, getting into the matchup itself. The reason why I think this is going to be such a blowout in favor of the Sooners is the matchup just isn't good for Georgia. This is one of those traditional matchups where you have a team that runs a spread against a good front seven that has a lot of depth, and that's how they keep their guys and they rotate their guys in. They're not great in the back end. And then they also
we're not great in the back end.
They have a pro style offense, which is a lot easier to defend.
Exactly.
Which for Oklahoma, a pro style offense is a much simpler offense for them to defend. And when they play against pro style offenses, they normally hold those opponents under 300 yards. Traditionally speaking.
And that's okay. Well, let me intervene. Okay, with the pro style offense, you have no idea what Chaney might pull on that. Everybody thought that last night, and then you see screens come from nowhere. You might see or think that you got a running back running through the middle. No, but screen, bro. You can't say that. And then last night, the majority of the season, we barely even used our tight ends, bro. And we used it last night, and we caught Auburn off guard. You know what I'm saying? So
I thought that was a great game plan coming into the Auburn game, and I think on the flip side, Auburn was stupid and they didn't use a different game plan at all. When you play a rematch, you can't just use the same game plan as before. And I felt like Georgia way out-coached Auburn in that sense.
Yeah, but let's talk about Oklahoma. How good do you think your offense is in stopping our defense? That's the question. Because have you heard of player number 3, Raekwon Smith? Dude will be looking for Baker Mayfield, bro. He will be coming. He will.
I'm sure he'll get a hit. He'll get a hit on, but look.
Oh no, he will get a couple.
He might.
He will get a couple.
Ohio State only had 2 sacks, and they have the best defense.
That's Ohio State.
Football. But they're better than Georgia's defensive.
Bro, are you serious? Come on now.
They have 2 big
Cupcake Conference, man. The Cupcake Conference.
Wait, no, you did not just call the Big Ten a Cupcake Conference. That conference.
Oh man, yeah, Toledo, bro. Toledo.
Toledo's in the MAC.
Oh, okay. All right.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. All right. There's a decent team. See, down south, we actually play something called defense. Y'all scores are so high because y'all have no corners. Y'all believe in gunning it. Y'all would throw a fucking ball all day long. You can't do that shit with us. You can't.
Curtis,
you can't.
Well, then how come when Big 12 teams play SEC teams, they average over 3 more yards per play than SEC teams do against the other conferences?
Curtis, I have to interject really quick. I mean, you brought up Toledo. You could have just said Michigan. That's about. I mean, Toledo and Michigan are about.
Michigan sucks too.
Oh yeah, that's balls.
Michigan's
Yeah.
not good, but they're better than Mississippi State.
Michigan is better than Mississippi State. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Michigan and Mississippi State with a healthy Fitzgerald. Oh, that'd be a fun game.
No, it would have been a good game. I actually get that to Mississippi State.
I'd buy tickets for that one. If it's at Starkville.
The SEC is not a joke. There's a lot of talent in it. But I'm just simply saying, when you look 1, 2, 3, after 3, who's your 4th team? Is it LSU? Is it Mississippi State? I mean, neither of those teams are very good.
I don't know.
That's the thing about that. That's the best thing about the SEC. You never know. You never know. Like, look at this season, bro. Did you actually think that actually Kentucky would be good, or you know what I'm saying? Auburn would beat Bama.
Would be good. Look at the way they recruit, and they're in the East. I thought they'd be better than they are.
Well, and again, you've got to give LSU a little bit of credit because LSU wasn't expected to do dick this year, and you know they didn't really light the woods on fire. But at the same time, it's going to take a year or two though for Coach O to get his players in there. And
LSU was preseason ranked. They were in the top 15, I believe.
That still was ridiculous.
They were the second ranked SEC team in the
with the worst head coach of Hold Miss modern history at the helm. No, I wouldn't buy that for shit.
Yeah.
So Curtis, this one's for you.
Okay.
Probably the most liked team, and you know they're a lot better than that, but the most liked team offensively that you've seen this year, I would say, is probably Missouri.
No, they have a high-powered offense. I give you that.
So Oklahoma now in that
Locke is a good quarterback.
Locke is good. He's not Mayfield, but he's very good. In that matchup, Georgia for most of the game really had a hard time dealing with Locke's ability to throw the football. Now Missouri is different because they can't run like Oklahoma can. So there was no balance, and eventually the talent and the fact that they couldn't do anything but throw. You guys just fucked on them.
No, that won't happen to us. Okay, all right. Look, for one thing, with Missouri, everybody knows they have tall ass wide receivers. The wide receivers are pretty tall, so I mean, Locke just can throw it up and they'll get it. So okay, we're kind of lacking on like corners and everything like that, but y'all are not about to do that on us, bro. Not us.
Well, I mean, you have to deal with when you play Oklahoma, and this is what's so hard for defensive coordinators. You got to deal with Marquise Brown, who runs a 4-3. You got to deal with Jeff Badette. You got to deal with Rodney Anderson, Dimitri Flowers, and you have to deal with Mark Andrews. And this is all at the same time. That's why it's so difficult to stop their offense. Baker's great, but the fact is Oklahoma can run the football very effectively. They've got a great power running game. They run from the spread, so it makes it really difficult for you to key in on their running game and when they're going to do it. And then
I understand that, but this is also that's been said. This is Alabama East, and I hate to say that, but it has been proven you will not run on us. And even if your quarterback even try to, that's going to get shut down. It's going to get shut down.
Auburn ran on you guys the first time around with the healthy carry on. So
that was on that game right there. Yeah, I give you that one. And we made a lot of penalties that actually helped them win that game. We didn't just they didn't just win that game. We shot ourselves in the foot on that one.
It wasn't Georgia's best game. Auburn was the better team that day, period. But it wasn't Georgia's best game. I'll give you that. But that's really the only team that you guys have played this year that has any type of balance. Now,
are you serious? I mean, you could say that we didn't play no team with balance. No, we was actually that better that we made them teams look slow. We made them look less than they were. You know, we actually played. We actually blew out a mid-state team that struggled, that Bama struggled with. Are you serious?
Okay,
Come on, man.
Let's be real, really quick. All right.
Yeah.
I'll be real with you. You be real with me.
I'm listening.
I'm only going to name real teams. I'm not going to name like App State or whoever this little dog is. You played Notre Dame. Would you agree that Notre Dame is a one-dimensional running team?
No, that wasn't one-dimensional.
How so? Their quarterback has like 1,200 yards passing on the year or something.
Oh, more than that. They did more than that. And the thing was, we was actually playing conservative because we never even played that team before. How long has it been since we actually played Notre Dame?
I didn't.
Like, no, you brought that team up. How long has it been? But no, I mean, you brought that up as a point to make. But how long has it been? And have we played that team? How long has it been? How long has it been? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's been I mean, look, it's been 36 fucking years or something since we actually played it.
Conversation though, I'm saying I'm looking at your schedule and I want you to point out a team that isn't one dimensional. Okay, so let me get through all of them. Okay. Notre Dame, and you guys, Shannon and Doug.
Not one dimensional. Not one dimensional. See, what you're trying to do is like rule the conversation and just invoke your whole love.
I'm just trying to have a turn.
But you've been having it for the longest. See, what you're trying to do is just invoke everything that you're saying to try to make your point be more focused on it.
You can do it first.
No, but you're speaking first. Cause I mean, all right. So what you're doing right now, you're not talking about your team. You're throwing up other teams that we played against and beat. Okay.
Well, we're trying to measure these two opponents because right now you're telling me that Oklahoma hasn't played a team like Georgia, but the truth is Oklahoma.
Y'all never played us.
Like Georgia.
Y'all never played us. Never.
We've never played Georgia, no, but we've played teams that have defenses and the type of personnel that you guys have this year.
Okay, you may think that. This is a different Georgia team, bruh. It's not the same team. It's not the same team.
Georgia's a very good team. I'm saying that, look, Oklahoma's played teams that have great defenses like Georgia that can get after the quarterback, have great defensive lines. They played TCU twice. They played against Ohio State, who's a more likable comparison because those guys have the NFL talent that's going to go to the next level like Georgia has. They played these like teams. I'm just trying to find a team on Georgia's schedule that's similar to Oklahoma. The most similar is a bad Missouri team, but they're really not that similar because their offense isn't as good and their defense is really bad.
No, I would rank y'all as a mediocre Notre Dame. Seriously. If you even try to stay in the pocket long enough with Baker and try to throw that, Raekwon will get you. If you even try to throw it, Baker will snatch it. It will get picked.
Can you explain to me how Nick Bosa and Tyquan Lewis and Sam Hubbard didn't do very well against Oklahoma if you think it's that simple to beat them?
Look, I cannot explain for them, but I can say what other teams have said. By far, Notre Dame has stated, the quarterback has stated from Notre Dame that this is the fastest defense that he has ever played against. All right?
Yeah, he's played like one season, though.
One season? Okay. A season is a long time in football, bro. Have you ever played it?
Mayfield's played 3 seasons. Baker Mayfield last year played against an Auburn team that makeup defensively is almost exactly the same as this year's Georgia team, except it's a little bit better on the back end.
Visit our Facebook pages, Smacking Off the Podcast fan page and Smacking Off the Podcast group page, facebook.com/group/smackoff, facebook.com/smackologists.
All right, I may have missed that game. Did they win? Did Oklahoma win that game?
Handily.
They won? Okay. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I may have missed the game. That's what I was asking.
Well, and guys, I have to ask one because there is one glaring stat, and that's particularly on defense. Of course, Georgia is currently ranked right now on the NCAA's website as number 4 in the nation. Oklahoma is 57th.
You will not run on us.
Timothy, does that matchup concern you in the slightest?
The defense has been the concern this year, but the problem for the defenses has been the vertical passing attack of spread offenses. As you saw against more traditional power running opponents or opponents that even run from the spread like Ohio State, those aren't the teams that Oklahoma struggles against. The teams that Oklahoma struggle against are more like, the traditional spread with guys with 4 wide receivers and that kind of noise. Like Oklahoma State or that's.
Iowa State.
Like the defense is concerning. The problem with
Iowa.
Oklahoma's defensive problem was mostly depth issues. They have no depth on the defense, and when they got hurt in the middle of the year, they were very bad. But actually, over the last 4 weeks, they've given up less yards than Georgia has. So since they've been healthy, that's interesting.
Fun fact: the UAB Blazers are ranked 35th in total defense in the country right now. Just throwing that out there.
Well,
no, I mean he's trying to rule the conversation. So I mean I'm trying to listen to you, bro. I'm trying to listen to you, and and get your whole little situation out. But we'll see. We will see.
We're gonna have you guys back on
one of the best
before this
offenses
game.
in the history of all of college football.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's another thing that needs to be pointed out. They average almost 600 yards per game, which is an unprecedented amount of number.
Yes.
And this isn't just your average. Like, yeah, this offense is pretty good, like an Auburn, or this offense can do something really well, run the ball like Notre Dame. We're talking about a team offense.
See, all right. This whole conversation is like, all right. This is what Oklahoma is going to do. They're like this. They're like that. They're like this. No. These are the teams. You've never played us. You cannot put a comparison on us that you've never done. You haven't played us. You can't say that. Okay, so like, okay, this is like a comparison of what Auburn did last week. No, you've never played us.
But
all right, let's look.
A team even similar to Oklahoma. We've played teams that are similar. Obviously, we'll know when they.
But you know what I do know?
Well, no, wait
you know what I do know? That my coach has been the defensive coordinator for Bama for years, and you know what he did do? He shut shit down. All right, so that's what he knows. Mel Tucker and Kirby will shut that down.
Kirby had a really hard time at Alabama shutting down spread offenses.
Really? How many championships did he win while he was there?
He won championships.
How many?
We're talking about teams.
All right. I mean, but you're bringing up other teams. So, I mean, I'm talking about Georgia, but you're bringing up like Auburn and all other teams and us playing, them playing again. I know we never played each other, but that's what you're doing. You're just like, I mean, it's kind of hard to talk to you and just be like, yeah, we're going to do this because we never played each other. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, Curtis, let me ask a question real quick. Timothy, what in the matchup between Oklahoma and Georgia do you see? Or better yet, or just another quick question, something I thought of a moment ago. What team closest to the way Georgia is playing football right now has Oklahoma faced this year?
I would say Ohio State's probably the closest.
No.
Ohio State's offense is better, but the defense that Ohio State uses is very similar to Georgia's defense. They have the same strength.
Perhaps, maybe not. Maybe not as talented.
That's the biggest concern for me. Our offensive line will win enough matchups against the Georgia defensive line, but how will the line?
I'm sorry, that was funny to me. Go ahead. Now I'm listening. Go.
Offensive line in college football. So I mean, I don't know why that was funny.
No, it's funny because we will bust through that. We will get through that.
Get your plays. I mean, you'll get a sack or two, I'm sure. I'm sure you'll get
more than
2 tackles for loss Auburn had last year.
Mm-hmm.
You probably won't get the 5 or 6. But
so wait. So
it will be more than that. It will be more than that.
So Timothy, you're comparing this Georgia team that they're fielding this year to Auburn's team that they fielded last year that you beat in the Almost Bowl.
Georgia's offense is better, but the team makeup is very similar. It's very similar.
Our defense got better and our offense got better. The same team that we played offense in like Auburn last year, we shut them down. They couldn't even get a first down. Come on, man.
Auburn's defense last year in the Sugar Bowl is actually, in my opinion, a better defense than the defense Georgia fielded this year.
Ooh.
Especially with guys like Carl Lawson and Montravius Adams. I mean, I see guys, they're on the Georgia's team that I know that can make plays, but I don't think they have a pair that's Montravius Adams and Carl Lawson. I was actually a little more worried about the Auburn game just because those guys are really good. Oklahoma.
See, it goes back to Auburn. So Oklahoma, okay. So when you speak of yourself, you don't speak of yourself. You actually throws out Auburn.
The reason why I throw Auburn out is I'm simply pointing out. See, because we're right now. You laughed whenever I said that the.
But do you realize that we beat Auburn last night?
That's fine. That's fine and all.
No, it's more than fine. It was awesome.
Okay.
And this Auburn team is definitely better than last year's Auburn team.
Oh, light years.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say light years, but they are significantly head and shoulders
Not the defense.
better.
Yeah.
The Auburn defense last year was better than this year's Auburn defense. The Auburn offense is much better than last year.
Okay, so we beat them both.
Well, and I appreciate that, but what I'm trying to point out is hang on, you laughed whenever I said that the Oklahoma offensive line will win their fair share of battles against Georgia. And then you said, how do you know? Because you haven't played you haven't played us before. So I said, well, here's some teams that have great defensive line play, some of which are better than Georgia's defensive line play. And you just keep saying, well, we beat Auburn. Just because you beat Auburn doesn't mean they don't have better defensive linemen than you do, does it?
Yeah, also, but stats don't win games, bruh. Stats don't win games.
Okay, so how are you guys going to deal with the two tackles Oklahoma has? Bobby Evans and Orlando Brown will be the best two tackles you guys have played this year. How do you deal with those?
Oh, we just gonna run through them, bruh. Do what we've been doing. Nothing has stopped. Nothing has stopped. Okay. We chopping wood, bruh. We're doing the same thing that we've been doing.
Orlando Brown hasn't given up a sack in 2 full seasons of football. Are you aware of that?
He hasn't given up a sack?
In 2
Not one sack.
Of football. Not one, in 2 full seasons. That's why he's going to be a first-round pick.
Well, congratulations. Hopefully we'll be the ones to stop that. Yeah, because once again, I say, you've never played us. You've never played us. You've never played us. And this is what makes this whole conversation such a stalemate. It's because we never played each other. We can go at this all day long. We can throw players and stats all day, but we never played each other.
No, we got to save some for the next segment.
Yeah, y'all definitely, y'all can't squirt the whole thing out tonight.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Because he's throwing up like other teams. It's kind of hard to smack with him because he's like throwing up other teams. Hey, Auburn, and they did this, and because we never played each other.
Well, we're going to do this.
Because I'm not an SEC guy, and I'm not just yelling War Eagle. Is that what it is? Is that why it's hard to smack?
I hope you're not yelling War Eagle, because we're going to politely invite you to get the fuck off right now. Hey, really quick, guys, before we go. Yeah, we can't go on forever.
And we can't use logic either. No
we can't use logic. That's ridiculous. This is a football smack program. God damn it.
But fuck the Unabomber, man, and fuck Oklahoma too. Fuck that shit, man.
Well, look here. Give me a score prediction. If we play this game tomorrow, Curtis, what's the score? Tell me.
38-12 for Dogs.
Woo! Tell me about it, Timothy. What do you got?
This will be your second prediction of the night.
What's that?
38-14 Oklahoma.
38-14 Oklahoma. Fellas, we really appreciate y'all coming on and talking shit, and we are going to bring both of you back on a dual segment. Y'all ready for it?
Like the week of the game.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
That sounds fun.
I'm down with that. Thanks, guys.
Right.
We appreciate it.
All right.
Smacking Off invites you to join us on the podcast. If you have an opinion on an upcoming game, some commentary on your conference, or want to roll with one of your fellow smackers on air, hit us up. You can message us at the Smacking Off or X's and O's Facebook pages, email me at maddenshannon@toothfairy.com, or call us on the Smack line, 304-508-BAIT. And as always, fuck your team.
Oh! Have you been butthurt by the Alabama Crimson Tide? Do these butthurt symptoms sound familiar?
Oh! He can't sit down. He's got a burning in his butthole. He's got a fire. He's got a flame coming out of his butthole. The flame will start burning. Burn and burn and burn. That flame will be an eternal flame coming out of the butthole. Flame of fire is going to come out their butthole. Flame coming out of the butthole. Flame coming out of your butt. Oh, you're going to have a flame coming out of your butthole. You ain't seen nothing yet until you see the flaming butthole. Your butthole will be flaming and you will not be able to sit down. And there'll be people walking around all over America with flames coming out of their buttholes. Oh!
So if you've been butthurt by the Alabama Crimson Tide, Don't fight back alone. Call me, Attorney Bobby Shinora. I will fight for you.
Good evening, gentlemen.
What's going on?
Buddy Weston, how are you this evening?
Lovely.
Let's talk
I
about
feel good. I feel strong. I felt terrible. I was sad in bed all week long. I feel good now.
Did you have to go to a therapist for any of this?
No. I'm an Alabama fan, so I just spent some time with my cousin. A little domestic violence, got drunk, things like that.
Fair enough. Some sexy time with your cousin. Was that what we're referring to?
Oh yeah, roll tide.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. That's what I scream when I screw my cousin.
Yeah, well, anything else and really wouldn't be sportsmanlike. How you doing, gentlemen?
Man, I'm still just I'm really in shock. I did not anticipate that Alabama was going to pull it through. Doug stayed cool, calm, and collected the whole time, and had no.
I just couldn't see them putting Ohio State in, losing, a month ago by 31. I just couldn't see it.
I'm with Shannon, man. I mean, I commend you for keeping your cool there, Doug. But in all honesty, I thought Ohio State was going in.
I did too.
Just because of the climate of college football, there's a lot of Bama fatigue out there. Obviously, Nick Saban has gone to the playoffs every year since its inception, and this year we'll keep that streak alive. But I mean, there's a top 3 of the top 35 big TV markets are in Big Ten country. And whether or not, Michigan State fans and the rest of that area hate Ohio State, I mean, they would still kind of have a dog in the fight if the Buckeyes were in the Final Four. I was shocked. I'm like you, Shannon. I was shocked.
I think there's just so much Bama hate out there that Bama just really commands all the TV markets. People tune in because they want to see Bama lose.
This year was the most highly rated college football game ever. I mean, of
which game
of all time. But it was because Bama was losing too. When you say Bama commands all the TV markets, they command it if they start getting their ass whooped. Then everyone will tune in.
Right.
But last year,
maybe that's why they let Bama in. They figure Bama's going to get their ass whooped.
And a bunch of haters are going to tune in because they want to be there when the dynasty is finally over. Holy shit! It finally happened, just like they did last year in the last second of the Clemson game.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what really pissed me off about. Did you see that bullshit in the SEC championship game where they called the penalty on that quote unquote rub route, which was offensive pass interference, aka pick play?
Yep. Same one that beat us in the Clemson game.
It's I can't even fucking speak, man. I was so upset. Look, that's number 17. That's it. I mean, they ran it twice. They scored with it twice.
Yep.
It was the same play, man. It's the same play. How do you do that? I hope we run it. I want to run that play and win a game with it.
Especially against Clemson.
Well, we were all thinking about, the actually thinking ahead to the Clemson-Alabama game and the possible scenarios. And I went there. I was sitting in the stadium. I don't know about you.
Well, the fact that we're talking about Bama having a shot is, different than the storyline would have been a couple of years ago, which is, Bama's going to destroy Clemson, or the story last year where, Bama's favored, by, 7-8 points going into the game. This year, it's a 1 point right now?
Yes.
The line,
essentially,
which has dropped down from 3.
What are we looking at as far as the linebackers? I know that we're not going to get Hand back, but
we're not getting Hamilton back. You talking about?
Yeah.
Hamilton. Yeah, we're not going to get him back. But the others, I mean, Matt Wilson should be back. We've gotten a lot of experience, in some of the freshmen, Dylan Moses. We'll be healthy.
I definitely,
but still,
I can't see if Alabama can shut Clemson's run down. I don't see Bryant winning the game for Clemson. I just don't.
No, Clemson statistically they have a better defense than they did last year.
Yep, that's gonna be a problem.
But that's statistically. That's also going up against competition that wasn't as good in the ACC as it was last year as well. I don't know, man. I mean, I'd like to think that we can go in there and play our brand of football, but we really haven't in the last part of this season here.
We don't really have an identity right now on offense.
We don't.
And this is a bad time of the year to not have an identity.
No, but Saban's
Damn right.
Saban's got a month to prepare for this, and I'm sorry. I mean, he's got a pretty good record when he has a lot of time to prepare for something like this.
He's got a good record at rematches too.
Yeah, he does.
You know?
Yeah, he really does. You're right. And I have more faith in our coaching staff than I have in any other coaching staff. I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, we're without a doubt number one in the best shape that we can be. There's no better coaching staff out there.
Right.
We have an army of grad assistants. And by the way, I mean, off topic, be prepared for that here in the off season. They're going to address that staff size issue across college football, and they're going to try to.
So that is going before the NCAA. Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, they're definitely going to do that. The former Big 12 commissioner is the current Big 12 commissioner is the president of the Rules Committee, and they're going to come after that this year. And we really do have a small army of assistants. I mean, it's 100 plus, and that's just the people that actually get a paycheck.
Yeah,
and
there's quite a
there
few
are others that are paid by
former head coaches, former coordinators, left and right throughout the whole entire staff.
I mean, we've always
analyzing every single molecule of what
we always have an offensive analyst.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've got a half dozen of them. I mean, we're killing it. I don't know if we have a half dozen of them, but they used to throw names at them. They throw titles at them.
They should have kicked it in a little harder before the Iron Bowl, though.
Yeah. And, it's not necessarily a bad thing for college football. A lot of these guys have to get experience somewhere, and there's a lot of rules about who you can pay and who can be on the sidelines, and you can only have X amount of coaches on the sidelines. But, I mean, hey, the sidelines are only – I don't know if you want to break it down a fraction of the game, but, I mean, Alabama, the difference between Bama and every other team is that the entire university, the personnel, the entities that surround this program have all bought into the process, and they are all sold out on, we're going to set the standard and work to beat it and beat ourselves and beat our best at everything. Their media at Bama is comparable to Hollywood blockbuster hype and, first-tier NFL teams. There's no other college out there, save maybe South Carolina now, since they hired Justin King away from AL.com, who's producing the kind of hype and the kind of recruitment-centered videos and graphics that Bama is producing. And that kind of thing is built, directed, and aimed directly at 4 and 5 stars all year long, because you can't contact them on the phone.
Nope.
You can't go visit them all the time, but they're always on Twitter. They're always on social media. And Bama is destroying it. Go out and compare it. And people don't really think about that. That's just one aspect of a behind-the-scenes type of entity and how it affects recruiting and how it affects the perception of Bama by these 5-star recruits who don't care about Bear Bryant or history or tradition.
Yeah, or even know about Bear Bryant.
Tell me this: does the machine you're talking about, does it disappear when Saban retires?
Smacking Off invites you to join us on the podcast. If you have an opinion on an upcoming game, some commentary on your conference, or want to roll with one of your fellow smackers on air, hit us up. You can message us at the Smacking Off or X's and O's Facebook pages, email me at maddenShannon@toothfairy.com, or call us on the Smack line, 304-508-BAIT. And as always, fuck your team.
That's a good question.
That's a touchy subject among Alabama fans.
No, I don't know. I mean,
I don't see how it could run with the same intensity that it does now. Nick Saban is obviously the fuel, that drives a lot of these things. I don't think it just breaks down and collapses on the side of the road, but it's definitely going to be dependent upon how Dabo handles that when he transitions into being our new head coach.
Good answer, because we have said that on this broadcast quite a bit.
Do you guys really think that Dabo is going to follow? You think he'll follow Saban?
Absolutely.
You think? I mean,
yeah.
If I'm Dabo, I don't do it. If I'm Dabo, I wait and let them promote somebody and let them fail, and then I come in.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I guess that's.
But, at that time, but we're also talking about a few years from now. Dabo's, I mean, he's not an old guy by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Saban could throw a bone to the next guy and tank his last season and win 4 games.
Hey, now,
that's what are you doing?
I'm just saying. I mean, you come in after Saban, and is anybody going to be able to succeed?
No, I mean, you're always going to have that drop off, and look, you're talking about who is, in my opinion, and by a lot of statistics and data that you could throw together and make the argument for the greatest college football coach of all time.
There's no doubt.
And he's doing it in an era where there's more parity than ever before, and by design. I mean, the rules, the stipulations, the recruiting restrictions, all of it is designed to create parity and competition and to even the playing field as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And, he just flips 2 birds to the wind, and, I mean, throw those saddlebags on him to weigh down that racehorse. He's still going to get to the finish line first.
Yep.
He's
unbelievable.
He's just a driven individual, and hey, roll tide. We're so blessed because it could have been Rich Rodriguez, guys.
Yeah, it really could have, and he was in line, and he jerked us around a little bit, and
yeah, he did. He was an asshole about it too.
He really was. I mean, before that,
speaking of assholes, I got to talk about Gus Malzahn for half a second. I know this is our absolute bitter rival. They just, they helped us kick our own ass in the Iron Bowl.
Right.
We'll talk about that some other time. But I'm still just in absolute shock. Almost probably even more shocked than I was about Alabama making the CFP. The move that he made to stay at Auburn and now earn as much money, I was like $7 million a year now for the next 7 years.
I mean, he's
7-year contract with a just ridiculous buyout. I mean, what the? Really?
Oh, Doug, what do you think?
I think they jumped the gun. He's very inconsistent.
Jumped the gun. Auburn was ready to. The Auburn Nation was ready to hang him from the highest stump at Toomer's Corner.
Yeah, I mean I don't know.
That's where I'll come in at, Shannon. That's what I would say. Look.
I look for 3 subpar seasons now in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they're gonna have to fire him, and they're gonna pay yet another just outrageous buyout to yet another disgraced Auburn coach. Dude, Auburn, when Alabama has they have like celebrations, like I think they had the '92 celebration, the one that Dabo showed up. But do they do that down at Auburn? Do Auburn coaches come back and visit Auburn after they leave, with the exception of Pat Dye?
They've already gone there
I'm
too.
not even sure that they enjoy having Pat Dye on campus. He's so marred in controversy, and his hands are so dirty with so much nonsense. And I mean, I like the last Craneworks commercial that he did on the radio. I forget what actually happened, but I think Feinbaum asked him about something that was going on with paying players or something that had come out. It was his last Craneworks. He went right into his Craneworks thing. Come on down to Craneworks. Do good job on your crane. Boom, hung up the phone on him. Hadn't been back on the show since.
I love him so much.
Craneworks actually got pissed at Dye one time. I don't remember what that was about.
Oh yeah, was that when Feinbaum was still in Birmingham?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. It was right before he made the big move. And by the way, I mean, I don't know if we're talking about. Congrats to Feinbaum. I mean, God Almighty, that dude. He was just local, having assholes like us.
Yeah, he definitely
rode the
Saban train right out of town.
He really did. It was kind of a big thing. But yeah, back to Malzahn. He really hooked and rooked Auburn University. He's a very inconsistent coach. He just, God Almighty, that guy can catch lightning in a bottle against us.
I don't know why Auburn agreed to that, though. I'm still, that's what I'm in shock about.
Well, because he beat Bama. What the hell? What do you think, man? I mean, that's the reason. If he loses that Bama game, they run his ass out of town.
Yeah.
He doesn't get a bite. If he takes the Arkansas job, whatever they offer him, because Auburn would burn him to the ground on his way out of Lee County. You're right. I mean,
and I'm still
3 weeks before that. I mean, they wanted to fire him. They wanted him gone.
Yeah, but Malzahn would have had a much easier path at Arkansas, and I think we can all agree on that.
I mean, you still have to play Saban every year, but
yeah, but at the same time, the
with way less
expectations
expectations
are a lot
exactly
lower there.
Yeah, if you win 8-9 games at Arkansas, they'll build a statue for you.
Oh, hell yeah!
And if you could beat Saban every fifth year,
at Arkansas.
Malzahn would look great in a statue.
I think they've only played for it once, right?
Who's that?
SEC championship. I know they've never won one. I think they've only
Arkansas
played for an SEC championship once.
Arkansas's played twice, I believe. They played.
Okay.
Danny Ford took them one time, and then Houston Nutt took them.
That's a name I hadn't heard in a while.
No doubt. that's
what, Danny Ford?
You just made me feel old.
Yeah.
But yeah, he would have had an easier path over there, and the expectations would have been lower, and it would have been his home and everything. But I mean, he spent 5 years building up at Auburn, and he really has. He's had a topsy-turvy career over there. And
it's
inconsistent as hell, but that son of a bitch can catch lightning in a bottle against us.
Every now and then.
And I mean, the prayer and Jordan Hare, the kick six, and the kick ass this year. I mean, I don't know.
We also have to talk about what they did to Georgia too, because this is a rather exceptional Georgia team.
Right. I don't even understand that myself. I rewatched some of both of those games, and Georgia did a good job of taking away those little under routes and slants, and they stopped their little flea flicker trick play a couple of times and kept Kerryon Johnson from being real effective. Coming out of the Wildcat or the Wild Tiger or the Wild Bullshit, whatever they're running over there.
The Wild Tiger Eagle.
I mean, I don't know. It was just night and day. Both games. What do you think, man?
Auburn at home compared to Auburn on the road is like night and day.
Man, their home crowd, they deserve SEC Player of the Year.
You know what? I think you're right.
I'm serious, man. It was night and day as far as seeing what happens when you take home field advantage away from Auburn in Atlanta.
Real quick, changing the subject. How much more interesting does the SEC West become now that we've got Jimbo Fisher over at College Station?
Interesting, more like rough. And Jimbo Fisher's a great coach, man.
I know he is.
I still don't know why Texas. Why would he go to Texas A&M?
Yeah, it seemed like either a sideways, possibly even a backwards move.
They've got more money than
I know, but
well, yeah, I mean
facilities.
They had more money that they were willing to pay Jimbo Fisher.
Facilities are
A&M.
No, they've got more money. Period. And
Texas A&M is loaded, man. I mean they're low key. Probably,
but I mean, that he did. Jimbo did go to FSU. I mean, FSU still got the money to be able to pay him, and he went to FSU with that offer that they gave him. Said, "Look, this is what it's going to take to keep me here." Kind of like Malzahn did.
The money, though. I mean, what $6 million to $7 million? What's the difference?
Yeah, true.
I mean, I guess I can say that.
If you live at full capacity, I don't know.
Yeah.
People that make that kind of money usually spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
Well, you spend what you make. I mean, if you.
So what did he get? He went from $6 to $7 million.
I don't know exactly what the numbers were, but I mean, look, I mean, you're in Florida State. You're in Florida. It's a great recruiting ground. Of course, Texas is as well. But I mean, you ever been out to College Station?
No,
out in that area. I mean, there's I don't know. It's a lot like Tuscaloosa, I guess. To be honest, I mean, it's not
a lot of nightclubs
terrible.
And cover bands. Yeah,
it just seemed so odd to me.
I mean, I don't consider myself a troll, really. I consider myself a
I don't know about bro, not me, bro. I don't know about Justin.
Speak goddamn women and something, man. I'll beat your goddamn brains out.
Yeah, but it was still a horrible look for Oklahoma.
Dude, whatever you're smoking, buy a ton of it.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
The whole thing, the way it went down, it brought back memories of the Franchione departure, and ironically, to the same school.
Yeah,
I guess.
Ironically, to the same school. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when Franchione went over there. Rick Carley jumped his ass on a plane. I think he's with Fox 6.
Are you sure you're not talking about Rada?
Yeah.
Rada's one that followed him.
Oh yeah, maybe I am.
Rada.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Rada got over there and
at the press conference.
That bald bastard.
He got over there and he gave Franchione hell at his press conference.
I remember that.
He was asking him Alabama questions, and Franchione was rolling his eyes.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was.
He was the only Alabama guy.
And I really didn't like Rada up till that point, and then I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt.
He's all right. I like Rada.
I definitely liked him after that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard from him, but I mean, obviously I had it wrong. I thought it was Rick Carley, but yeah, I remember that. That was the best part of that whole thing. But I mean, we were really upset when Franchione left. Oh my God! I mean, of course, we were coming off some pretty bad coaching.
Some pretty bad coaching, and he come in and he had, well, he really dotted the 2001 season with that win over Auburn. I mean, just killed Auburn down at Auburn. And I think that, and then he come in with a lot of hype in 2002 and put Alabama in a position they hadn't been in a couple years. You know,
I know a place right here in town that still has one of the Dennis Franchione bobbleheads and still has the old noose tied around.
I actually had one, and I sold it on eBay for $50. Somebody paid me $50 for that.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Because they actually collected those things and burned them.
Yeah.
They had Franchione bobblehead burnings.
I bet they're rare as shit now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if they had burnings, yeah, I mean,
Right.
I guess they are rare.
Right.
Shit, I need to go back.
Fahrenheit 451 over here on Franchione.
Yep.
It's a book reference. No one listening to this is going to get it.
Damn.
Oh, the Auburn
I mean, you're right, but damn.
You talking about is that how hot you cook ribs? He has no idea.
So how you feeling about this?
About Malzahn, I mean, I don't know if I'm happy or mad that Auburn retained him. I mean,
I don't know.
He's real inconsistent. He's good to screw something up, but God Almighty.
I think I would have just liked to seen a change at Auburn, just because it would possibly put them in a bad situation coming into next year, worse than they would be in with Malzahn being there. But like you say, Malzahn is inconsistent.
I think everybody fucked up here, and they should have let him go into Arkansas. I really do. I think he's a better fit at Arkansas.
He's not worth $7 million a year. They're gonna figure that out quick.
No.
If he thinks,
I don't know why is Kiffin not being mentioned for any big name job?
Man, Kiffin's down there on the beach.
Just the way that he's conducted himself, I think.
He's having a great time.
I hear that.
Tennessee could knock it out of the park.
And he has no stress. He goes down there, wins 9 games, and I mean, hell,
he's waiting for a job, man. He don't want to stay down there.
He doesn't look. He wants the stress. He wants the limelight. He wants that big name job. He'd take Tennessee back if they called in a heartbeat for the same amount he's getting in Boca Raton, just so he'd have a bigger Twitter following. And that's the criticism I get from Lane Kiffin. Is what I hear is, hey, he's a brilliant play caller, a pretty decent coach, but he's just immature online. Hey, man, has anyone followed Trump lately? We got a president who's tweeting like a mean girl at world leaders, and you don't want to hire a football coach?
Madden's actually got a little hookup on his Kodi on his TV that actually tell him about it.
Yeah, when I cut my TV on, because I'm a cord cutter. We actually Doug is too. We've been on Kodi and XBMC for a long time now.
Well, look, let's talk about that when we get off of here, because as soon as the playoffs and the championship are over, I'm cutting mine too.
I haven't missed a game this season.
Well, okay. Well, I might do it before. Let's talk about it after. I know the audience probably really not into that.
You can Google it and look on YouTube. I'm sure there's.
Yeah, I know I can. I said let's talk about it. When
no, not you. I'm just telling our listeners we are in the middle of a broadcast. Wink, wink.
I mean, really?
I won't be telling everybody a second. But anyways, when I pull it up, when I cut my TV on, all of the Trump tweets since the last time that I'd used my Kodi, they all pop up, and they're in the form of a official White House statement. It is the yeah. If you got an Amazon Fire Stick,
who would do that?
His girlfriend don't really like it.
Yeah, she hates it. My girlfriend hates me right now. Yeah, I hear about it every single time she turns the TV on it, and of course she's pregnant, so that just makes it even that much worse. So,
well, yeah,
her anger, yeah, her anger is great.
And I don't think that's what people get. And that was what's so amazing about that election. Because that's how it was run.
Yeah.
The same way that I troll online.
Yeah, absolutely.
Funny or cruel, I'm just not going to say it. And I mean, he got a lot of bank out of it. How the fuck did we get on Trump?
I don't know.
I think this is your problem. I think you did this.
Before we depart, I want to get your take on this Clemson Alabama thing and how do you feel it's going to go down.
Man, I'd rather have Clemson than Oklahoma.
Definitely.
I tell you that.
Definitely.
Baker Mayfield is absolutely on fire. Well, I can't wait till that Heisman Trophy has one of the hands grabbing his crotch.
Let's face it, Oklahoma, the way they look right now, is Alabama's worst nightmare. When you consider
their defense sucks.
True.
Number 57 in the nation right now. That's
true. So
where Oklahoma's ranked.
Bama will have a shot maybe if they get into that game to outscore Oklahoma. But
I think that if we get into that, let's talk about the Clemson Alabama game first. I mean, look, we match up with Clemson. about the same as we did last year. Not because we're as good as we were last year, but because Clemson is better. The entire field of college football has dropped this year.
Mm-hmm.
There's no standout teams. Clemson's defense is statistically better, but they haven't been playing against competition that was as stiff as they were playing against last year, and they don't really have those big standout household name playmakers. And you know what? Neither do we. Hey, we've got Jalen Hurts, but you don't have Reuben Foster. That's not a household. You don't have him this year. You don't have a guy like him this year. We've had a lot of injuries, and our middle's gotten a little soft. We've got Minka Fitzpatrick. I don't know. It just doesn't. We don't have, like we were talking about in the beginning of the call, the identity that we did last year. It was just lights out, hungry, aggressive, mean, hateful defense, and a dual threat offense. Brian DeBall's come in, and he's running a lot more over the middle passes, which is a testament to how much more they trust Jalen Hurts. I don't know if Jalen Hurts has progressed as a passer as much as we need him to.
I don't
to sell out and stop the run.
I don't think he has progressed as a passer this year. I really don't. He's been able to,
I say he's progressed.
He's been able to air it out on a few occasions. He was super clutching at
Mississippi State.
There's still some confusion that he has in the backfield. At least in the the few games that I've seen this season, that I've really been able to actually stop and pay attention, because there's so much stuff going on. It's tough to actually, tough to actually sit down and watch a football game unless you're at a football party or you have, friends and family over, this, that, and the other, and everything's centered around the football game, because there's also a lot of football games to try to keep up with too. And then you're on Facebook, and then yada yada, this, that.
Right. I mean, I'm posting, and then to 6 different pages and 3 different Twitter accounts, and SEC Smack is my only group, right? Well, I mean, College Football Trash Talk Nation, that one too, but I mean, SEC Smack's my home. And so I'm posting to 6 pages, 2 groups, 3 Twitter accounts, and you see something and I get what you're saying. It's hard to just focus on a game. And,
it really is. But as far as actually, watching Jalen Hurts over the course of the season, though, I haven't. There have been a couple bright spots here and there, but there's also been a lot more of the same, which is why you still hear a lot of the Jalen Hurts.
He's not a pure passer, and you know what? I don't fucking want him to be, and I hope they don't try to turn him into one, because he's great with his legs, and that's his threat. Is that, man, he can take off and run like a back.
He's
big and he's strong, and I mean, he'll bowl over.
He's looked like Tim Tebow in some of when Tim Tebow played at Florida. I
agree. I mean, Tim
Tebow's
some spots
throughout this year. Yeah.
Has there been a concentrated effort though to try to display his passing ability maybe this year?
Oh yeah,
I think
definitely.
so.
Look, I mean, if you look at
And
the
did it cost
number of run plays we've called, period.
And I'm not going to say it cost us the game in Auburn, but it definitely probably
it hurt our chances.
It hurt our chances.
Yes. Particularly in the second half.
Yep,
definitely did. And I hope that they learn from that. And look, you don't want to see 3 and out because you can't run up the middle. Yeah, you don't want to see
if
3
I'm
and out.
Alabama, I really try to figure out how to line up and run, and try to cram it down their throat.
Right. I mean, but you want to see that run production, and we've got the backs. So we've got
absolutely.
Oh yeah, we're
got the line.
If we can focus on it for a month of going out and playing a game like that, we definitely don't need to give Clemson the ball 99 times, 99 plays.
God help, man! I mean, look, if we had the Clemson Alabama game, look, I mean, if they sell out to stop the run and make Jalen throw the ball, which is going to be their game plan.
Yep.
That's the smart game plan. Then, I mean, we are going to be in a world of hurt. They've got a good defense. It's not as good as it was last year, even though it's statistically better. But they've got a good defense. At some point, we're going to have to depend on Jalen to make throws. And you know what? I mean, I think he has progressed as a passer. I think he's proven that he can make clutch throws. I mean, the kid's got ice water in his veins. But, I mean, when the time comes, has he progressed enough is my question.
All right, Bobby, we're we're gonna wrap this up, man. Thanks for being.
If we go
on
any
this.
further, we're gonna have to roll this over to 2 episodes.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be a few things that we have in this episode.
That's on y'all, man.
No, we're gonna use it all at some
All right,
point.
buddy. It's good to talk to y'all, man.
Hey, man, it's great to talk to you too, man. Talk to you soon.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Real time.
Real time.
Garbage dump, oh garbage dump. Why you called a garbage dump? Oh garbage dump, oh garbage dump. Why you called a garbage dump?
I mean, I don't consider myself a troll, really. I consider myself a
I don't know about, bro, not me, bro. I don't know about Justin.
Speak goddamn women and fuck man, I'll beat your goddamn brains out.
Yeah, but it was still a horrible look for Oklahoma.
Dude, whatever you're smoking, buy a ton of it.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Each week, Smacking Off presents our Life Championship. This week's Life Championship brought to you by Bad Month Tires. You don't have the swag for Goodyear, so aim for the middle with Bad Month Tires, the most economical tire money can buy.
Now here's the Life Championship Top 4 finalists for 2017.
Oto 4 finalistów Life Championship za 2017.
The Auburn Tigers, the Miami Hurricanes, the Washington Huskies, the Michigan Wolverines.
Watch next week's podcast to see the 2017 Life Championship winner revealed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on the Smacking Off podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden. I'm joined with my producer and co-host, Mr. Doug Phillips, for the CFP discussion. We finally know that the big mystery is over. Alabama made it. All right, guys, let's talk about it. Join with me. I have my dear friend. Of course, we're all friends here. We've known each other for a minute here. Dane Kelly, repping Clemson. Sean Bergoven, repping the OSU Fuckeyes. Sean Cagle is going to be
the Big Ten.
Okay, okay, yeah, you hear him backing away already. Sean Cagle is representing the mighty Alabama Crimson Tide. Timothy Bailey will be representing the Oklahoma Sooners, and this is want to start right here, real quick. This is the Sooners' dream match. The Sooners have been crying about this match for forever. We want Bama. We want Bama. Well, there is a chance you might actually get Bama. How do you feel about it?
I wanted Alabama and Clemson because I wanted to get Clemson back, and you never want to hear the "you avoided Alabama" discussion when talking about a national championship. But this is the first time Oklahoma and Georgia have ever played, and it's in the Rose Bowl, and that's pretty sweet. I think
that's going to be a great game.
I mean,
yeah, it's going to be a good game.
It's been 37 years since the OU fans held up a sign that said "We want Georgia" in the 1980 season.
Right.
and hopefully, even though I haven't brought him in yet because he's not able to log in at the moment, hopefully we hope to have Curtis Dyers Jr. on repping the Georgia Bulldogs here in just a little bit as well. So. Okay, so we've got Alabama out of the way. Let's go back because we were laughing about this off air. The fact that they usually in something like this, when they have a big giant reveal show, they'll start with the bottom and work their way up to number one. This one we just kind of dump number 1, 2, and 3 out on the table, and let's go to commercial real quick. So let's give Clemson the proper respect due. Clemson is the number 1 team in the nation right now. Dane Kelly, take it away.
Well, I don't know what you want me to say. It's
It's about what I expected. I think I told you prior to the ACC championship game that I felt we would handle Miami, and that's what we saw. And I think as the season progressed from the Syracuse game forward, we just kind of got stronger. I think that game kind of woke up our guys and our coaching staff especially. And so here we are, and we get another, I guess, the rubber match with Alabama. I'm kind of disappointed it's in the semis, but looking forward to it. It should be a good game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an excellent game. Sean, again, you just heard from Dane here a moment ago. How do you think Alabama fares in that matchup?
It's really tough to say with Clemson. I mean, the first year we did it. Both games were really, really close.
I'm talking about Alabama right now at this very moment. Now, again, Alabama is going to have a month to heal and some. I mean,
we need that
is
month.
Desperate. Oh man, we need that.
Yeah,
month.
we need it
to
bad.
Even contend.
It just all depends on how we prepare. We already know where Clemson's at. Clemson's the #1 team. They deserve it. It all depends on how we prepare for the game. What players we have come back. We need to really work on the defense really bad. Offense, last game, wasn't really that great. I'm really wondering and want to see what's going to happen in this game. I think it'll be a good game. It should be.
Sean Vergoven, real quick, I want to get your take on OSU being left out of the big dance.
And it's really the whole conference being left out.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
So essentially, everyone in the Big Ten knew that, hey, Wisconsin was our best chance to make the playoffs. If Ohio State beat Wisconsin like they did last night, you're essentially leaving it in the committee's hands. And Ohio State has a great resume, except they have a 30-point loss on the road to unranked Iowa.
Right.
If that game was even remotely close, like, hey, you lost by a touchdown.
That's what I told somebody last night. If that was a close game, then Ohio State would be in.
Like Iowa got lucky on they just had the ball last and they scored a last-second touchdown. Sure, Ohio State makes it in, no problem. But Ohio State was never in that game. They were just completely blown off the mat. And then Wisconsin was what everybody said they were. They were a paper tiger who ran through 12-0. They didn't really schedule anybody out of conference. They're in the worst division in college football. I mean, the second highest team is Northwestern at 24 or something today?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I mean, it's not a good division in college football. It's weak. And you go 12-0, that's still something to be proud of, and that's still something that should carry weight. But then you crap the bed when you have that chance to win the conference title and make your way into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So it sucks, but I mean, it's really hard now. I mean, after we go through it all, I can argue on why Bama has a weaker resume than Ohio State, but that's my thought on the Big Ten being left out.
I think it's just quality.
It is what we thought it was.
It comes down to the quality of loss, and
yeah, and that again, we pointed this out last time that we had a discussion, on the last episode. I can't remember if it was a square table discussion or one of the segments, but it's just so weird that everything that Alabama had to hinge on was about losing. Had nothing to do with wins, had nothing to do, of course, winning got them to the point where they were at, but ultimately it was decided on how people lost. How weird is that?
Yes.
Yeah. A close loss on the road in a rivalry game is going to carry more weight with the committee than a 30-point blowout on the road to an unranked team.
True. Timothy, how do you feel about this?
Well, just a few things to touch on. I also think that Ohio State had an opportunity last night to really put Wisconsin away several times and win dominantly. And a dominant win may have offset that bad loss that they had. But they had pick sixes, they had fumbles, they had a blocked field goal. They did everything they could to allow Wisconsin to stay in the game.
That's what I was telling my wife last night when we were watching it. I said, you can't have a better scenario with what Bama's had happen today, with Auburn going down. You can't have a better scenario than Ohio State winning this game as sloppy as they won it.
Yeah.
I think if you look, and like I said last night in our chat, if you go by resume and you go by who's probably a better team, you go Ohio State. If you go with I cannot forgive a 31-point loss to an unranked team, you go with Alabama. And I think the committee couldn't overlook that because Ohio State didn't give them a reason to.
It's funny that you bring up the number 31 because I honestly believe, and this is what Doug and myself were talking about off air, you have to wonder, and I don't know how unprecedented this is or not, because, again, the committee is basing this decision off what happened this season. But don't think for a second that the Ohio State lost to Clemson last year in the playoffs. I mean, pretty much, I'm sorry. Don't think for a second that didn't come up in this conversation.
The 2015 Oklahoma loss had to Clemson is having an effect. Oklahoma throughout the season until just the last 2 weeks when some things really started to shape out. A couple weeks ago, Oklahoma had clearly a better resume than Clemson, but they weren't going to get the nod over them because look at what's happened in 2015. I mean, if you think that doesn't play a role or it's not in the back of their heads, I think that'd be crazy to believe that it's
right.
Yeah, and that's so strange, though, to
that's
have
what we all wanted, right?
To have a BCS.
I'm okay with it. In the end, if your team's in, they got, like I said last night, Alabama, Ohio State, Wisconsin, USC, whoever got left out, whichever three got left out has no complaints because they had an opportunity and they didn't take advantage. So
there's only one team in the country that has reason to complain, and that's UCF.
Yeah,
they did everything you asked them to do. They won every game, and they're still not in the top.
Still left out.
Well, they're a group of 5 team, and they didn't schedule strong Power 5 opponents.
I consider them the group of 5 national champs.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're a group of 5 team and you want to get into the playoff, and I'm not trying to bash UCF. I think they're a great team, and I think they're very good. I don't think they'd compete in the playoff. I think they can put up points, so that'd be interesting. But
I thoroughly expect them to win their bowl, whoever they get paired off with.
Schedule like Fresno State did. Maybe it doesn't have to be Alabama and UW, but it has to be. You got to schedule some real dudes. Like you can't just be like.
To counter that argument, Western Michigan went to Oklahoma State last year, beat them, and still got left out of the playoffs.
That's not this. That was Central Michigan.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was one of those Michigans.
I was like, the direction schools all blend together. The directional schools all blend together.
The better Dallas Cowboys current quarterback Cooper Rush.
All right, so how do we feel about our games? We've already asked Sean. Cagle, Timothy, how do you feel about Georgia?
Smacking Off invites you to join us on the podcast. If you have an opinion on an upcoming game, some commentary on your conference, or want to roll with one of your fellow smackers on air, hit us up. You can message us at the Smacking Off or X's and O's Facebook pages, email me at maddenshannon@toothfairy.com, or call us on the Smack line, 304-508-BAIT. And as always, fuck your team.
I think this is the most ideal matchup of all the opponents if you're looking at it from an X's and O's standpoint for Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a strength on strength, and the Oklahoma offensive line this year, whenever the strength on strength is opponent's D-line versus somebody else, versus our offensive line has won every one of those. Even against Ohio State, who I think has the best defensive line in the country, 1A, 1B with Clemson, whatever. I think that's a good matchup, and we've seen Georgia's secondary on film. It's not very great. They don't have a prolific passing quarterback, though I do think Brom is pretty good. He's not going to – there's not going to be any – it's a pro-style offense, too, so that helps the Oklahoma defense some. They don't have to deal with these widespread offenses, and I think that this was ideal. I think Clemson or Alabama would have been a much tougher contest or even a rematch with Ohio State. I think that this was the matchup that OU, if you just want to be able to get into the finals without thinking about it, this is the matchup OU wanted. I think that Georgia's the weakest team of the 4 by a lot.
All right, guys. Dane, you're muted again. Oh,
can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
Dane was doing something secret.
All right. So let me ask this. Let me ask this to you guys. Does it benefit a team to try to schedule a tough non-conference like Oklahoma, or does it benefit to schedule Mercer?
I was actually you took the words right out of my mouth. I was fixing to ask the very same question. How much did Alabama's, I guess, lack of strength of schedule help their case as far as being able to climb to the heights that they're at now?
Penn State and Oklahoma last year too. Penn State and Oklahoma were in the same spot as Ohio State last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it really matters. I mean, it's still Alabama and it's still Nick Saban. So as long as we've got a humanized selection apparatus, I think as long as Bama continues to win 11 games or more a year, they're more than likely going to be in. And it doesn't matter if they're playing Mercer or a Furman or whoever. And it doesn't matter when they play them either.
So
they win 11
when you
games.
guys see those lines,
they're
you see those
probably
lines. Alabama's favored by 1 opening line over Clemson.
I think that's a little odd.
I love it.
Yeah,
that makes no sense.
That's great.
Oklahoma's favored by only 3 against Georgia. I actually thought that would be higher.
I kind of did too, but then again,
Yeah.
Georgia looked really good against Auburn last night.
I mean, Georgia's looked pretty good all year long. I mean,
they really have.
But yeah, they've looked great. They've taken care of business, and I have a lot of respect for teams that take care of business because obviously, the 2 top teams didn't take care of business in matchups they should have won. Regardless of injuries, which both teams had in those games, they should have been able to beat Syracuse and Iowa State. Ohio State should have been able to beat Iowa. So you got to give respect for Georgia for taking care of business. But at the same time, though, whenever we saw Georgia against, and I know they revenged their loss against Auburn, but Auburn on their schedule, Auburn's the only team that had anything, going for them that Georgia played this year. Georgia didn't have to play Alabama. Hell, Georgia didn't even play Texas A&M. I know Georgia played Mississippi State, who's magically ranked, which, come on.
We're going to do a show about that in a few weeks. You can be on it, Tim.
They played South Carolina.
We're going to do the conspiracy show in a couple weeks.
I gotta ask this. Speaking of conspiracies, because you brought up Auburn and those 2 losses at home. How big was how big of a factor was the Auburn home field advantage in the games versus Georgia and Alabama? Because you saw
huge.
I mean,
clearly it was massive.
I mean, you can't help but wonder that when you see what Auburn did in a neutral site last night.
Well, Auburn didn't look like the same team. I will say part of it, Kerryon Johnson's injury had to have played a role.
That was huge.
I mean, come on, let's just be honest.
But it should have been that huge.
He didn't look anything like the player he was 2 weeks ago.
And
no, he didn't.
And Malzahn is an awful coach. Compared to the other top 10 teams, I would take every one of the other top 10 teams' coaches and probably.
Do you think it might have been because Malzahn is headed out the door?
I was just going to say maybe he's preoccupied with that Brinks truck sitting in front of his house right now.
Sitting in front of his brand new house, I might add, in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
You guys remember a couple weeks ago when we talked about Auburn's best play call of the year came with 6 minutes left, up 33-10?
Yes.
Yes.
There was a time in this game where Georgia was up 13-7.
That play would have come in handy.
Ball about the same part on the field, and that play call could have swung the momentum of the game. And they didn't have that in their hip pocket because they used that early. I mean, it's just small stuff like that affects games. And Malzahn wasn't smart enough in his whatever many-year career to tell his offensive coordinator, "Hey, we're not going to call this play that we haven't called all season long, which is a wrinkle off of a standard offensive formation we run." When we're up 33-10 with 6 minutes to go in the game. And that affects games. They showed Georgia things on film in the second half that they didn't have to show Georgia. So Georgia had a much better game plan. Did you see what Georgia did? Auburn came out with the same game plan that they had against Georgia the first time. Georgia came out with a different game plan. They came out throwing. Look at the Oklahoma-TCU game. The Oklahoma-TCU game the first time, they just literally used Rodney Anderson as a workhorse. They came out against TCU yesterday, and they came out guns blazing, throwing the football. You can't play the same team twice and play the same game and expect to beat them.
Ding, 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 ding.
I mean, that was absurd to believe. I mean, how could you even think that would work?
Particularly
the only team that I know that can do that successfully because I've seen them do it is Alabama. But I mean, that's just because they outclass folks. Well, yeah, maybe not the same year, but they just outclass folks with athletes,
Well, it's also about matchups too. Those are individual matchups throughout the game. Those are dissected ad nauseum, I'm sure, by their whole entire staff before they even prepare for a game and figure out which player is going to make the difference against
Georgia
which other
coaching
player.
Staff deserves a lot of credit for yesterday's game.
No doubt about it.
I mean,
Absolutely.
they completely they made Malzahn look like they were completely an irrelevant opponent. They looked like the Auburn team that we thought, oh my gosh, look at this. They just lost to LSU. That's the Auburn we
In other words, they made Malzahn look like an Arkansas head coach.
See, and that's what I don't understand. What
Nailed it.
Arkansas celebrating about? They're like, come on home. And I said to an Arkansas fan, I'm like, hooray, 7 to 8 wins a year.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
they're
they
like,
love
we'll
that
take
over
it.
there
And
right
I'm
now.
like, I guess that's better than
Yeah.
what they have going on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, guys, let's get everybody's prediction on these 2 games. I know that we've asked each person about their own team, but how are these games going down, and who's going to be in the final?
Dane Kelly, we'll start with you.
I think Clemson will sneak by Alabama. I think it'll probably be a very close game. I mean, we're about as evenly matched as 2 teams could be. We've got similar styled quarterbacks, great skill position players, great defense. But I think Clemson will edge them out. And I know everybody's really high on Oklahoma. They got the high-flying offense, and yes, their defense has been playing better. But I think Georgia might have something for them. I got to go with the defense, and Georgia. I think.
So you're calling for a Clemson, Clemson Georgia national championship game.
Wow.
Yes.
All right, Vergoven, how do you feel about this?
I want Clemson to win 31-0 against Alabama because I don't believe that non-conference champions should be in the playoffs, but that's just me.
Okay.
I think it'll be a close game between Clemson and Alabama. I think Clemson wins it, but it'll be it'll be kind of like last year, kind of whoever has the ball last scores will win.
Okay.
And then Georgia, Oklahoma, Georgia. I'm thinking Oklahoma wins this just because Baker Mayfield wills it. I think he's a better quarterback than Jake Fromm, and I think they're pretty evenly matched across the board other than that. So I think it's going to be Clemson, Oklahoma in the national championship. I think probably Oklahoma wins that.
All right.
So,
Mr. Cagle.
I think Clemson, Alabama, it's going to be a close game, but come on, I got to go with Alabama in that one. I'm not going with Clemson.
All right.
And I think the Oklahoma, Georgia, I think Georgia wins by 2 touchdowns or more against Oklahoma.
Okay, so you're picking an
Alabama,
all SEC
Georgia,
national championship game.
Final, yeah.
2011 all over again.
Yes.
All right.
We're going back to the BCS, fellas.
Timothy.
All right. I think the Clemson-Alabama game will be really good, assuming Alabama gets healthy and we see those guys play at the level they did before their injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if they're not playing at that level, Alabama's been getting gashed on the ground for several weeks in a row now, and if that happens, Clemson will just run down their throat and beat them probably, by 10 or so.
Okay.
If Alabama's healthy and they're ready to play, which, they'll be ready to play mindset-wise because of Saban, the reason why Clemson beat Alabama these last couple of years is because Deshaun Watson had 400 and 500 yards passing.
No, just one. They only won one of them.
That was just one.
Yeah, they only beat us 1 year, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. They should have beaten you the year before, but
Absolutely.
they were, to be honest, they should have flopped.
Spoken like
Alabama
a true
was better
Sooner
last
fan.
year. Clemson was better in 15.
Okay, so
I agree.
But anyway, I just don't think if Alabama slows down the rushing attack, I don't think Kelly Bryant can beat Alabama through the air like other quarterbacks can. So I really don't know where to go with it. I'm going to say I assume Nick Saban's ready and his guys are, and I'll say Alabama by 7 or less.
Okay. And so you're picking
Oklahoma,
you're picking a Bama Sooner national championship game.
Yeah, Oklahoma and Georgia. This game is a mismatch completely on paper for Georgia in every facet.
I told you those Sooners they have been praying for a Bama Oklahoma rematch to prove once and for all Because right now, as it stands, the series is 3-1-1. Oklahoma has us edged out. 3 wins. Bama has won once, and we've also tied Oklahoma way back.
I think it'll be the
when.
normal 2-3 beatdown over a 3 in the Rose Bowl. I think Georgia's a good team, but I do think that they're a little ahead of schedule, a lot like Miami, except they didn't have to play Alabama in the SEC title game. I know it's because Alabama didn't earn their shot to get in there, but I guarantee you Alabama would be a better opponent than what Auburn did away from Jordan Hare.
Sean Cagle, would you like to respond to that, please? Where is Sean? Sean's making a sandwich.
Yeah, I just think that that game against Georgia will be something like 38-14. It'll be like the Sugar Bowl last year.
All right, guys.
Goodness.
The normal 2-3 blowout, it's happened every year. Let's make it 4 in a row.
Okay.
Fair enough. Fellas, I've really enjoyed this conversation. This has been awesome, and it's important. There's some important information in this podcast, and I hope that everybody, if you can't cram it all in your ears the first time, go back and listen to it again, because there's some good conversation here. Fellas, we thank you all so very much. We appreciate you spending your Sunday with us. And as always,
thanks for having me.
Except for Sean Cagle,
Absolutely.
Fuck your team. Bye, guys.
Please subscribe to our channel by clicking the small smacking off icon at the top of the screen now. Click the link at the bottom of the screen to watch last week's episode.